Some guys just aren't cut out for the corporate life, yet it took a career in the banking business for Tom Miller to decide that he was one of them. 25 years ago, Miller left a comfortable career in banking for the transportation business, buying a fledgling limo company and building it into Regency Global Transportation. Tom Miller's president of the company, and he joins us today on Our Region's Business. Welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, well, I got to start. Anytime I have an entrepreneur on the show, I got to ask him, especially a guy who'd had a career in banking and was doing quite well. You know, what was the bug that bit you, and what made you think this was an opportunity to get into the transportation business?
Well, growing up, I always had the vision that I would like to do something on my own, and not sure what that would be. And in the late 80s, I was traveling to New York quite a bit, putting some financings together. And we were using a law firm in New York that was helping us negotiate the transaction. And as New York was in those days, there was black car service everywhere. So we would always use a car to go to the airport or go to dinner or go to the hotel, transportation back and forth. And it got me started. Is this an idea that might work in Pittsburgh?
But did you, so late 80s, did you realize that in the late 80s, giant corporations here were on the ropes? Some of them were going out of business. Others were being taken over. What made you think that the time was right to do this here?
Well, you know, sometimes when things are at its worst is a good time to start because you can only go up from there.
Okay, I get it, yeah.
So, but I did look around at that time, and at that point there was really no one in the business in Pittsburgh who was from a business background or professional background. It was more of people who had started their companies, and you know, there was part of a auto service garage or a funeral home.
Yeah, you're driving a limo, you're driving funerals and weddings, right? That was the business model for the most part?
There really wasn't anyone focused on the corporate market, which is really my goal from the beginning.
And so tell me a little bit about Regency today. So what have you grown it into?
Well, you know, we're an overnight success 20 years later. I think we're the largest in the region as far as what we do, as far as full service chauffeured transportation, primarily serving corporate clients. I have a completely diverse fleet of sedans, vans, SUVs, buses, minibuses. We also do a lot of motor coach work with some of our affiliates who have motor coaches and have a very diverse clientele. One of the great things about Pittsburgh, as we all know, is how it's become a very diversified city over the last 25 years. And I think Pittsburgh, as we all knew in the 90s, has evolved tremendously into what it is today.
Well, and have you really seen that? Because I know you think about the Pittsburgh of the 80s, you got heavy, you know, big industrial, you have big financial services, but today you've got energy, you've got healthcare, you've got IT. I mean, it is a much more diverse. It must make it a lot better for a business like yours. You can kind of go where the market happens to be at the time.
And I think we're seeing benefit of that right now. Everyone's aware of what's going on in the energy sector today. And that was a large growth area in the last few years with the Marcellus Shale activity. And I'm sure it'll be a large growth area in the years to come. But today the energy sector, of course, is pulling back, much like we saw the steel industry do back historically when it would go through recessionary times. So, but that's being offset by the increase in the technology investment, the Google with what they've done in Pittsburgh, or Apple going into a building in the Strip
Now we're hearing
District.
about Facebook with a toehold in town.
Offices in Oakland, or even Uber with their facility in the Strip District.
Well, I got to ask you about Uber, though. So, yeah, they're building the big research facility for autonomous vehicles here, but they're also moving people around using their on-demand car service. How does that impact a business like yours?
It will have an impact on us. It hasn't impacted us directly yet. Their primary competition in Pittsburgh has really been with the cab side of the business, and I think it's a great solution for people who want those point-to-point direct routes, and I think it's forced Yellow Cab to react to it, or Veterans Taxi, the various cab companies out there, to evolve themselves and become better and provide better service. I think Uber's actually enlarging the market of people who will use chauffeured transportation of some sort. So it's up to us to figure out what our niche is and to serve that niche as well as we can.
Yeah, only a little bit of time left, but you're looking forward to a good year. I know we've got the U.S. Open. Is that a big deal in your business? Yeah.
The U.S. Open's a very big deal for us. We're fortunate enough. In 2007, we worked with the USGA themselves, providing a lot of shuttle transportation as well as the limo side for their people. We also do a lot of the corporate hospitality transportation for the clients coming in to watch the U.S. Open. So that single event is one of the largest events that will impact the city from our side. And we've been very fortunate in Pittsburgh. Hosting the G20 Summit in 2009 was huge. The Major League All-Star Game in 2006 was huge. So, we've been very fortunate in Pittsburgh to be involved in a lot of the events that come to this city.
Well, it's exciting. Congratulations. Happy anniversary for our Regency Global and continued success.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you. And when we return, we're talking rivers with the new leader of River Life, a woman who packed up and moved from Boston to Pittsburgh to take the job. Stay with us.